Nestled at the far edges of the southern Philippine border, closer to the island of Mindanao than the Indonesian mainland, lies a small, often overlooked piece of land called Miangas. Though tiny in size, Miangas holds a deep and fascinating history that ties together the narratives of both the Philippines and Indonesia. For centuries, this island has been a point of convergence for trade, culture, and even dispute, with both nations asserting control over it at different points in history. Today, Miangas may be a forgotten corner of the region, but it has served as a key player in shaping border relations, sovereignty, and diplomacy in Southeast Asia. Trivia. Before the international arbitration ruling in 1928, which colonial powers laid claim to Miangas? A. United States and France. B. United Kingdom and the Netherlands. C. United States and the Netherlands. D. Spain and Portugal. Answer: C. United States and the Netherlands. Both the U.S. on behalf of the Philippines and the Netherlands on behalf of Indonesia claimed Miangas, which led to a legal dispute resolved by international arbitration in 1928. From contested lands to arbitration stands, let's dive deeper into how Miangas became a symbol of shared histories and common ground. Miangas is part of the Talaud Islands, an Indonesian archipelago located in the Celebes Sea. Despite its position within Indonesia's territorial waters, Miangas sits only 48 kilometers away from the southern tip of the Philippine island of Mindanao, specifically the province of Davao Oriental. This geographical proximity has, for centuries, tied the island culturally and economically to the Philippines. Trivia. How far is Miangas from the Philippine island of Mindanao? A. 100 kilometers. B. 48 kilometers. C. 300 kilometers. D. 150 kilometers. Answer B. 48 kilometers. Miangas is closer to the Philippines' Mindanao than the Indonesian mainland, creating deep cultural and trade ties with the Philippines. So close yet politically far away, Miangas' geography tells a story that bridges two nations, with cultures intertwined in more ways than one. Before the imposition of colonial borders, Miangas was part of the network of islands that interacted freely with its neighbors across the Celebes Sea. The island was connected to the sultanates of Sulu and Maguindanao, which were both influential Islamic polities in the southern Philippines. These sultanates traded not only with Southeast Asian islands like Miangas, but also with larger empires, including those from China and the Middle East. Trivia. Which two Philippine sultanates historically influenced Miangas through trade and cultural exchanges? A. Sultanates of Sulu and Maguindanao. B. Sultanates of Manila and Cebu. C. Sultanates of Tondo and Manila. D. Sultanates of Davao and Iloilo. The correct answer is A. Sultanates of Sulu and Maguindanao. These sultanates, based in the southern Philippines, had strong historical ties to Miangas through trade and cultural interactions. From royal sultanates to trading states, Miangas thrived in an era when seas united rather than divided lands. The dispute over Miangas was ultimately resolved through international arbitration. In 1928, the Permanent Court of Arbitration ruled in favor of the Netherlands, granting Miangas to the Dutch East Indies, which would later become Indonesia after its independence. This ruling was based on colonial treaties between Spain and the Netherlands, which delineated spheres of influence in Southeast Asia. Trivia. In what year did the Permanent Court of Arbitration rule on the Miangas dispute? A. 1910B, 1928C, 1935D, 1945. The correct answer is B. 1928. The dispute over Miangas was resolved by the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, favoring the Netherlands' claim over the United States. An island's fate decided by the pen, Miangas found its future through arbitration, yet its cultural ties remained unchanged. Today, Miangas is firmly part of Indonesia, but the island's cultural and historical ties to the Philippines remain strong. The island's population is small, with around 700 to 800 inhabitants, most of whom rely on fishing and small-scale farming for their livelihoods. Despite its official status as an Indonesian territory, Miangas retains many aspects of Philippine culture. Trivia. Approximately how many people live on Miangas today? Is it A. 1,000 to 2,000, B. 700 to 800, C. 1,500 to 2,500, or D. 300 to 400? The correct answer is B. 700 to 800. Miangas is home to a small community, but its cultural and economic ties with the Philippines remain strong. On an island where cultures meet, life flows as two nations greet. the people of Miangas blend two worlds while standing at the border's edge. Geopolitical implications. The strategic value of Miangas. Miangas may be small, but its strategic importance cannot be understated. Located at the maritime border between the Philippines and Indonesia, the island sits at the crossroads of the Celebes Sea and the Pacific Ocean. Its location makes it a key point of interest for both countries in terms of security, trade, and maritime sovereignty. Trivia. Why is Miangas considered geopolitically strategic? A. It is located near oil reserves. B. It controls key shipping routes. C. It is close to military bases. D. It has a major international airport. The correct answer is B. It controls key shipping routes. Miangas's position at the maritime border between the Philippines and Indonesia makes it critical for controlling shipping and maintaining security in the region. A small island with a big role to play, Miangas stands guard at the crossroads of nations, a sentinel in the Celebes Sea. The Miangas Border Crossing Agreement and Modern Diplomacy. One of the most significant developments in the modern history of Miangas is the 2003 Border Crossing Agreement between the Philippines and Indonesia. This agreement allows residents of border areas, including Miangas, to cross into each other's territories for purposes of trade, cultural exchange, and family visits. Trivia. In what year was the Philippines-Indonesia Border Crossing Agreement signed? A. 1998. B. 2003. C. 2010. D. 2015. The correct answer is B. 2003. The Border Crossing Agreement allowed residents of border areas, including Miangas, to cross freely between the Philippines and Indonesia for trade and cultural exchanges. When borders blur and ties endure, diplomacy paves the way for peaceful exchanges at the water's edge. The future of Miangas, challenges and opportunities. As Miangas looks to the future, it faces both challenges and opportunities. Climate change and environmental degradation threaten the island's coastal communities, while development initiatives like the new airport provide hope for better connectivity and economic growth. Trivia. What recent infrastructure development on Miangas improved its connectivity? A. New seaport. B. New highway. C. New airport. D. New bridge to Mindanao. The correct answer is C. New airport. The opening of Miangas's new airport in 2017 improved connectivity and access to goods, services, and tourism potential. With challenges ahead and a path unclear, Miangas charts a future that holds both hope and fear, but always with a foot in two worlds. Miangas may be a small and remote island, but its history, culture, and geopolitical significance make it a key player in the relationship between the Philippines and Indonesia. From its early connections with the Sultanates of Sulu and Maguindanao to its role in modern diplomatic efforts, Miangas stands at the crossroads of two nations. Its residents embrace their dual heritage, making Miangas a symbol of cooperation, shared history, and enduring ties between the Philippines and Indonesia. Trivia. Which two countries have a shared historical and cultural connection with Miangas? A. China and the United States. B. Philippines and Indonesia. C. Malaysia and Vietnam. D. Singapore and Brunei. The correct answer is B. Philippines and Indonesia. Both nations have shared historical, cultural, and economic ties to Miangas, making it a unique island at the border of two countries. With one eye on the future and another on the past, Miangas will forever stand where history's borders last, a small island at the heart of two nations' shared journey.